Well, welcome to the Old Classic Car channel. Now today we are down in Southampton and we are outside Solent Sky, which is an air museum with flying boats and many aircraft hidden away inside. So the first appearances you'd think we'd actually visited the wrong place, judging by this lighthouse boat or whatever. Yes, I think we've got the right place. Various propellers that look like they've been dragged out of the Solent. And there is the main reason I came. You might not be able to see it, but it's the front of a short Sandringham flying boat. A magnificent machine indeed, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. We've got about half an hour before the place opens, so we'll just hover around and then go inside and see what gems we can find in there. But for now, we'll just have a look at this old vessel from 1914. Over here in the entrance we've got this fantastic model shop. Lots of names here that people will recognise. Keelcraft, Jetex, Frog Kits. There's one or two of those back at home. If only you could find a model shop like this now. Jetex. Oh, we're inside the main museum now. Wow, look at this. A Saunders-Roe jet flying boat. I think this is the only place you'll find one of these. I did see an information board around this. Let's have a quick shufty. There we are, the Saunders-Roe SR.A. World's only jet fighter flying boat. First flying 1947, the SR.A. was designed to operate from coastal waters far from fixed air bases. 3 prototypes built. Wow, that's very neat. Max speed 512 miles an hour. Wow, look at that. Scoot round the other side again. Can you get a better view round there? There's certainly plenty in here, and this building was purpose built in the 1980s to house the Sandringham and everything else that fits in around it. What it would have been like to see this operational testing, presumably out on the Solent somewhere, or wouldn't it be something to see this fired up again? Metropolitan Vickers Beryl. So that's the propulsion unit. Yep, you won't see one of these anywhere else. Is that an Elizabethan up there? British European Airways used to operate those. Elizabethan was the Elizabethan class for British European Airways. It was the Airspeed Ambassador, I think. Dad will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's right. Next to the Saunders-Roe jet flying boat, we've got this, a Vampire T11, a de Havilland Vampire. This looks like a T11. We used to play one of these at a farm in the early 1980s. Dad was involved with an aircraft collection, and there used to be one of these parked on a farm gathering dust. Let's have a look. First flown 1950. These are really distinctive, the Vampires and the Venoms, because of the twin boom. And just like the de Havilland Mosquito in the Second World War, there was a lot of wood employed in the construction, especially in the cabin area. Coventry Climax engine here. Facing the de Havilland Vampire, we have the Sea Vixen, the de Havilland Sea Vixen. This was designed with carrier operations very much in mind, hence the folding wings. Again, a twin boom aircraft. You should be able to see that once we go up into the heavens. But yeah, these were a phenomenal bit of kit, these were. Morning. You can just see the twin tails and booms here. Again, we'll get a better look at this once we are up there. What a great place. Everywhere you look, there are just aircraft coming out of your ears. I just can't take my eyes off this one though. Right. Over here, there's a Folland Gnat. These were made famous in the sort of late 60s and 70s. These were the aircraft of choice for the Red Arrows. I remember seeing these many times in my youth. Just to get a bit of vehicle road content into this particular video, we've got two vehicles here, the Avro MonoCar and the Avro MonoCar. Let's have a look at this MonoCar. It's in behind glass, but we should be able to see it. And this, here we go, Roy Chadwick. A bit of history on Alliot Verdon Roe. So he produced a number of unusual motorcycles. Between 1905 and 1957, Roe was interested in motorcycling but disliked the lack of weather protection provided on early machines. His motorbikes, predecessors of modern scooters, combined the simplicity of motorbikes with the comfort of an open-top car. The Avro MonoCar was produced in 1926, fitted with 343cc Villiers engine, 3-speed gearbox. A.V. Roe used this motorcycle to commute between his factories in Manchester and Southampton, quite a feat in an age before motorways. In 1928, A.V. Roe sold his shares in Avro and formed Saunders-Roe on the Isle of Wight. The monocar was rechristened the Saunders-Roe Runabout to promote the new business. A.V. Roe later claimed he had driven 40,000 miles in the monocar. The Avro MonoCar was the last of A.V. Roe's eccentric motorbikes. Built in 1957, the bicar is based on a Villiers LE, hence the name AVLE. It's fitted with a 192cc engine. And the LE was a water-cooled motorcycle, very popular with the police forces back in the day. Yeah, I've never heard of this one before. That is really neat. The whole reason for this particular museum is this. The Short's Sandringham flying boat, and the building was actually designed in the 80s around this particular aircraft. It's such a treat to see a surviving example of one of these mighty machines. It's in the livery of Ansett, which is an Australian airline. I believe we can go inside. Let's just walk down here and have a quick look. You can see the tail of the Sea Vixen quite well here as well, actually. Pratt's Ethyl Petrol. A bit of British Pathé footage here of the old flying boat service. Better view of the rear of the Sea Vixen. But yeah, Ansett Flying Boat Services, Rose Bay, Sydney. What a phenomenal thing that is. Like I say, the whole building was designed around exhibiting this magnificent machine. What an incredible aircraft that is. Morning to you. Well, we always like an information board. Beachcomber, which is this one. A short history S25 Sandringham flying boat, built by Short Brothers at Rochester in 1943. It is the only large passenger carrying flying boat preserved in the museum in this country. It's part of the National Aeronautical Collection, and as Southampton was the only marine airport from which these flying boats operated in Britain, Beachcomber is preserved and displayed in this city. Got a potted history here of it. 1984, the museum opened to the public. It's been here ever since. I'm not sure how clear this will be, but these photographs in this article documents the moving of Beachcomber into position here. That's the building it's coming into. And there's the archways up there. We scooted past this before, but this is the Napier Sabre aero engine. 1944. We see plenty of Merlins around. I think I saw one before from a distance, but not so many of these. Bit of information there. 24 cylinder sleeve valve, liquid cooled. 36.65 litres. Got quite a few more engines over here. An Orpheus. First run 1954, went into the Fiat G91R, the following that, and the short SB5, Rolls-Royce Continental, Gypsy Major, the Armstrong Siddeley, Bristol Siddeley Viper. That's fitted to the jet provost. It's a very compact unit. A couple of cockpits here. Got a cockpit of a Harrier. Incredible bit of kit. The Supermarine Swift. We'll have the same slightly oily smell, these old cockpits. In this cabinet here we've got a fantastic collection of artefacts. There you go, from the Schneider Trophy. That was an air race back in the day. Look at that programme there. The Schneider Trophy Contest 1929. Apologies for some of the shadows, but wow. Okay. R.J. Mitchell's notebook, number 19. That's a dictionary for R.J. Mitchell's office. If you like your bits of ephemera, bits of old paperwork and so on, it's a real treat to see this stuff. And one of the most eye-catching aircraft here is the phenomenal S.6A, the Supermarine S.6A. This competed in the Schneider Cup trophy race in 1929. What a historic machine that is. Supermarine, of course, went on to build the Spitfire in its many different marks, powered by the Rolls-Royce Merlin and later the Griffon engine. Not forgetting the Seafire. But back in the 1920s and early 30s, the Schneider Cup trophy was a big deal. Participated in the 1929 Schneider Trophy. It was a reserve aircraft for the 1931 contest. Set a world closed circuit record for 50 kilometres and 100 kilometres. It was disqualified for turning inside a marker pole. And it starred in the film First of the Few. Speed 332 miles an hour. Just incredible. You can just see up on the wall there, K5054. That's a recreation of the very first Spitfire, if I remember right. Supermarine, of course, was a local manufacturer. So this really does celebrate much of the local industry, the aviation and the maritime industry here in the Southampton area. There we go, there's that Rolls-Royce Merlin I was talking about before. Merlin 10 piston aero engine. These engines found their way into all manner of aircraft, fighters, bombers and many more. One example being the P-51 Mustang. They weren't terribly successful in their early versions until they shoehorned the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine into it, and then it really achieved its potential. Alongside Beachcomber, we've got this, a Mark 24 Spitfire. This has the Griffon engine, which I mentioned before. One of the giveaways is the multi-bladed prop. There's the S.6A in a bit closer. You can see that aerodynamics was everything, streamlining. Was the name of the game. You can see all the front cowlings are all wrapped around the banks of the engine. All designed to cheat the wind as much as possible. Such a compromise having the floats underneath. The Britten-Norman BN1. It's not just about large aircraft or fast aircraft here. Britten-Norman was based down this neck of the woods as well. We're up on the top floor now of the museum. We've got a replica police station up here because there is a police museum, fire service museum collection included here. So we'll have a quick scoot around there afterwards. Let's stick with the aircraft for the time being. Cool, look at these models. There's a model, presumably a factory model, I'm guessing, of the Saunders-Roe flying boat. Wow, what a great view you get here of the flying boat, the short Sandringham. All the walls are packed with stories of aviation and maritime history of the area. Southampton squadrons, many photographs of serving airmen down there. 424 squadron. Lots and lots of model aircraft everywhere you look. Obviously the Vickers VC-10. That's a standard model. They did the Super, which was a longer fuselage. Got a Blackburn Beverley at the back, over there. A Comet. Avro York there. That was loosely based on the Avro Lancaster of the Second World War, obviously, but these were post-war. Shackleton again. That was based around the Avro Lancaster, although it had the Griffon engines as opposed to the Merlins. Some of the Shackletons were tail draggers, such as that one there, and this one has the tricycle undercarriage with the nose wheel. Bristol Britannia. It's one of those in that livery at the Cosford Air Museum. Amazing. Now we're in the police display area, and a few more police cars to ogle over here. DOW 460 and the mighty Wolseley. A gaggle of minis. There's a few gems here. Got A35 Estate, or a van with windows, probably. The Farina, O'Reilly 468 or 472. Mark 1 Cortina, A40 Mark II. Obviously, load of minis, Mark IIs. Different grille to that compared to the Mark 1, but still with the outside door hinges and slidey windows. Young lady there with another Mini. Wolseley, is that a 6110? Various bits of police equipment. I've got one of those in the garage. That speaker, I wonder where it come from. Got more views of either late 30s or early post-war Wolseley. Well, let's carry on. I'll just give a quick mention to the collection of fire and police service memorabilia that also features here at the museum. Quite an assorted collection of fire extinguishers here, which is quite exciting, because I bought one of those conical Minimaxes a few years ago to put in the back of Big Dodge, because I wanted a period fire extinguisher to put in there. I've got one of those pistol ones somewhere as well. Yeah, but I do love the old transfers on this kind of equipment back in the day. All sorts. Really is a great museum. Oh, what's this motorcycle? Let's scoot round there, have a quick look. AFS, Auxiliary Fire Service Matchless. Very nice too, complete with pyrene extinguisher on the front there. There's some phenomenal models here as well. There we go, almost level with the cockpit now. Still not quite sure if we can go in. There's a gentleman there fixing the engines. What a treat that is. The romance of the flying boat. God, look at that. I think that's the Saunders-Roe. Could be wrong. The Princess. Yep, the Saunders-Roe Princess. 3 built, only 1 flew. This one, of which this is a model. Was scrapped in 1967, ironically on the same site in Southampton where R.J. Mitchell designed and built Britain's first commercial flying boats in 1919. How could you scrap something like that?
To service this large operation of flying boats, maintenance units at Hythe and Hamble were established. The flying boat business had brought investment and employment to the zone. The risk of emerging. Aquila Airways ended the last commercial route from Southampton Water in 1958. The massive Princess flying boat that had held so much promise was scrapped in the 1960s. Except for the occasional visitors.
Over here we've got an Avro 504, two-seat trainer developed during World War I and still in service in the late 1920s. You can see the primitive bomb delivery arrangements of these very early aircraft. Basically you look down and you lob it out. Hope that you don't clip your lower wing in the process. This is the sort of First World War exhibit here at Solent Sky. Quite a lot of information, memorabilia to these early aircraft. It was quite common to repurpose the old propellers when they were withdrawn from use, taken off scrap aircraft, crashed aircraft. And that's what this one is here. It's used as a photo frame. Fragment of the dirigible airship SL-11 was the first Zeppelin to be shot down while bombing England, 3rd of September 1916. Coal-shot castle. Oh, we've seen that from a distance. We were over in Portsmouth yesterday. Well, what a great place. I mean, we've never been here before, but we saw it on the map, so we thought we're going to have to pop in and pay a visit, especially as we're staying not too far from here. There's that jet flying boat below us now. You can't help thinking that we've passed the high water mark of passenger air travel. You know, a few years ago, a few decades ago, we had this kind of thing. And even until about 20 years ago, we had supersonic transport, but it's all gone. Up here we've got a pigeon's eye view of a flying flea. These are a home-built aircraft of the 1930s, fairly terrifying to fly by all accounts and not all that reliable. Many were lost in accidents in farmers' fields up and down the country in the pre-war years. I think they probably ended up being banned, in fact. Right, well, I think we're pretty much done here at the fantastic Solent Museum. You can see the jet boat down there, the flying boat. Yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching. There'll be more videos on very soon, and if you're in the area, Southampton, I strongly recommend you get yourself down to this fantastic museum. Absolute treat. Some super aircraft, that Saunders-Roe over there, the magnificent Beachcomber, and of course the Schneider Cup S.6A. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.